Welcome to York Reacts. Now, today I wanted to jump in and talk about the current layoffs that are going on in the gaming industry and kind of give you guys my take on it. If you are new to my channel, I am a video game animator, a senior animator that's been working in the industry for a really long time. I've been working for a little over 15 years. A lot of you guys have heard the spiel before, but long story short, I've had the chance to work at a lot of these companies. I've worked at PlayStation before, I've worked at Rockstar, I've worked at a lot of the big companies. Now, I wanted to give my thoughts on kind of the layoffs because I've been a part of that stuff personally. So if you're into that stuff, you want to hear about all that, let's dive in and let's get into this video, shall we? So my initial thoughts when I heard about, PlayStation letting go 800, 900 people was, wow. First of all, wow, because 900 is a lot of people and it's not something to kind of brush off. A lot of studios only have 1,000 people or a couple thousand people. So it's shocking to see that they let go 900 people, but apparently that was only 8% of their workforce is what they're saying. So for instance, last month, Microsoft laid off 1,900 people. That's a ton of people. That's almost 2,000 people, right? And what's interesting about this is all of these people that are getting laid off, for the most part, a lot of them are very talented people. A lot of the people are getting let go have been in the industry for a long time. They've worked on a bunch of hit games, and it's a bummer because I am currently a senior animator at the company I'm at, which is awesome. Thank you. Fingers, crossed. And I'm now a staff employee. I get 401k, I get benefits, I get all of these things that I thought I was going to get when I signed up for a big company. And it's hard to get into a staff position at a lot of those places like PlayStation, Rockstar Games, these big companies. It's very hard to get a position like that, and it's hard to keep it. In our industry, depending on what role you're in. So if you're an animator, you have only a certain amount of time that you're needed in a project. So if there's only one game going on, for instance, at a company, you're only needed for certain parts of the project because towards the end, they don't really need animation anymore. Like they need to test the game. They're not putting in new animations. They're doing a lot of testing and doing all this different stuff. And at that point, you're kind of wasted resource unless you're working on like the newer game that they're coming out with next, or you're working on some DLC or some secret cinematics that are going to go right. Otherwise, then animation's not needed. So as an animator, you're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs, right? And a company doesn't want to pay you to twiddle your thumbs. So a lot of times animators are hired and brought in to do all this work. They hire a whole bunch of us, and you think, wow, and they always brag about it online. We're hiring, we're staffing, they always brag about how many people they're hiring, but they never let you know when they're secretly letting go every single one of those guys one by one. As the production slows down, they go, oh, this guy's gone, oh, this guy's gone, oh, this girl's gone, this girl's gone. What? What happened to all of us, right? And every single person that's brought on feels like, oh man, I might be able to stay here, right? It's very rare. It's very rare. I have been in this industry for over 15 years. And I'll tell you what, I've only worked at one company that I felt stable at, that I felt like, oh man, I could be here for a while. Other than that, I was constantly like on edge. I didn't know whether my job was going to end within 6 months, 3 months, 2 weeks from now, tomorrow. I've had jobs that have ended that day, have ended 2 days from when they told me that their structure of their company was going down. You want to talk about experience and somebody who's been through this, and you want to hear about that? That's me. I have been through several companies that have shut down. I've worked at a company called Shaba Games, and this was owned by Activision. And before that, they were just their own company. A lot of times what happens is that these smaller indie developer studios, they're a passionate group of people, right? There's like 50 of them. They start their own company. For instance, Shaba Games. Shout out to anyone who's listening that still, that was working there with me. I miss all you guys. So anyway, Activision came and bought Shaba Games and then was like, hey, we will pay you millions of dollars to make our game. And of course, Shaba Games is like, hell yeah, because they're not sure if they're going to have consistent money coming in. But then a big company comes in and says, hey, we'll give you consistent money. We'll give you millions of dollars. We'll sign a contract with you for 5 years or whatever. And the company goes, all right, hell yeah. Little do they know, like in that contract, Activision can cancel it at any time. They can be like, nope, the game's done. You're done. We're canceling the studio. We're firing everyone because now they've like acquired you, right? They bought you basically. And so that's exactly what happened. So close to shipping this game, this Sing Hero game, Activision decided, well, wait, we're releasing. This is what they said to us: we're releasing too many hero games. We're releasing way too many Guitar Hero games like in a short amount of time. So we need to cut one of them, right? So let's cut Sing Hero. So they cut Sing Hero, even though they had spent literally millions and millions of dollars developing this game that was almost ready. Like as developers, we knew the game was almost ready. We were just completely dumbfounded by that, how they would cancel something that we've worked so long on, right? So it was really shocking to see. And it was heartbreaking for the people that worked at this studio, Shaba Games, okay? One day they call us down for a meeting, and the owner of the studio is standing down there, and I'm watching him, and he's giving this big speech to everyone, how he's worried about the future of the company and all this stuff. And the dude is like breaking down and crying. And it was so hard to see a grown man sitting there crying in front of 50 people because of how devastated he was of what he built up was just gone in a heartbeat from some big corporation that came in and just yanked it out. And it was just, it was heartbreaking as an employee and seeing him go through that because I knew how much hard work he had done to like build up that studio. All these people are going to be out of a job. They all have homes and families and kids. It's just heartbreaking. And a lot of these big companies don't see the heartbreak and what's going on underneath the shell of all of it. They don't care if they've spent millions of dollars because it's like an investment to them. It's just a part of the process. It's like a part of doing business. Like if a game fails, they're like, they choke it up to just like a part of doing business. And so it's really heart-wrenching for me as a developer, as a person that works for these companies. You have no say and you have no pull in what's going on. You're just a kind of a cog in this giant machine that's going around. In order to sum up all of this, what I think needs to go on and what I feel like the future of gaming needs to kind of head towards is that a future of more developers getting together and binding together as creatives and starting their own studios. More indie developers need to start forming studios and building teams. When they get let go, all of them need to come together and form something and make something special. Right now, we're getting engulfed by all these companies and all these things are taking advantage of us as creators. And AI coming in is only making it worse. It's only going to make all of this stuff worse. It's only going to make jobs more and more like, oh my God, is my job going to be gone? Right? It's only going to make jobs feel that way more and more. So I hope that like some of this information to you guys shed some light on what this industry is about and how it really works, because this is how it really goes down. This stuff is heartbreaking. I've seen many studios shut down and I've been a part of so many. I could talk for another 40 minutes on companies and games that I've been involved in that have been shut down, games that have been canceled for what seems to be no reason other than just profits, right? So it's really heartbreaking, like I said, for this to go through as a developer, as a creative. You don't want to be looking for your job or worried about your job every 6 months or 3 months. That's hard to do. And a lot of people don't understand that. Like if you're looking to get in the game industry, you got to have thick skin. You got to understand that your job is at risk all the time. It does not matter. The passion of working on the latest, coolest game is not that important to me anymore. It's not important how big the game is or how big the company is. What's important to me is my sanity as an individual, as a creative. And I hope that other people watching this that are game developers, you start taking that to heart as well. And you stop letting these companies walk all over you. I could go into a lot of big stories I'll make in another video of how I didn't let companies walk over me. I came in, I stood my ground, and I made sure I got what I wanted in the industry and paved my way. So we need to stand up for ourselves, and I feel like hopefully this industry it's going to change for the better. I'm hoping that things like this make developers like myself feel that urge to go, you know what? Screw this. I'm doing my own thing. I'm going to go out there. I'm going to make my own game with all these people, and we're going to kill it. And there's going to be a lot of these smaller games that start to overtake PlayStation, all these big companies, you know. I'm only saying PlayStation because this is what we're discussing right now. But that's what's going to be the future of it, I can tell. And I hope that that is the future of gaming. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this little breakdown. If you did, you know what buttons to press. If you have some time, which I know you do, check out my other videos. I have all kinds of cool stuff. I have breakdowns of animations I've done on God of War Ragnarok, all kinds of cool stuff. I also stream games Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9 to 11 p.m. So if you want to join me, join the stream, play some games with me, I have a lot of fun. It's a really awesome time. There's a really cool community growing there. So I hope to see you there. I appreciate all your time and support, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.